guys, it's Kelly with Priority Farm Journal, and today I wanted to do a February plan with me, a day in the life. So I'm going to be kind of setting things up. Some of it's set up already, but I just wanted to have you just kind of follow me along throughout the day and see how I utilize my Planner Perfect journal insert for my daily planning. And I'll just film as I go throughout the day, and that can maybe give you guys some ideas for how you might want to lay things out. And so I already have the headers set up for the day, and again, in case you haven't seen any of my other videos, I use a 4-page spread for one day because I also include journaling and my homeschool lessons that I track in here. So I already have the headers set up, I have the washi set up, and then I have kind of my different divisions for the day set up, because this I could set up like even months in advance, because this is kind of the different bullet points of my day. So I have breakfast here, just what we're gonna have, which a lot of times is kind of just planned on the fly, at most the night before. And then at 10 a.m. we start lessons. How long that takes, we're a pretty relaxed homeschool, so it doesn't take super long, but some days we might dig into something a little bit deeper if they're interested, or things might pop up, maybe character issues that we have to kind of stop and handle, and so sometimes it'll take longer. So I don't plan out like this hour we're doing this. I just say, okay, we're going to start at 10 and then we'll see how it goes from there. And then I have lunch scheduled here, and then most days we do work from 3 to 5, but today is a Wednesday, so on Wednesdays the kids have youth group and they're on the worship team, so they have to go early to practice, so we have to kind of shift everything a little bit earlier. So today we do work at 2 p.m. 2 to 4, and then at 4 we'll have an early dinner, and then I'll take them at 4:45. We have to leave the house to get there, and sometimes I have to mess with that if the roads are icier, because they get pretty icy and gnarly around here during winter, and February seems to be like a heavier snow and ice month. So I have that. And then that is it for the day. So I already have this laid out no matter what. It's not something I do at the beginning of the day. So that's why I already have it like this for you. Okay, so to be honest with you guys, I struggle with depression, and I especially around that time of month, it gets a lot worse for me. So I'm trying to kind of track that a little bit more and find ways to be prepared for that, instead of just, you know, it hitting me like a ton of bricks and then trying to like fumble through the days and it being kind of a mess. So for me, how I deal with it, I know I have to get my eyes off of myself and my eyes back on the Lord. So I wanted to share a quick resource. It's not like anything I'm sponsored by or anything like that. It's just something that I utilize that helps me to keep my focus on the Lord and to meditate on His Word and the truth, instead of the lies that can tend to creep in when you're struggling with depression. So here's my phone. It's really dirty and nasty right now, so sorry about that. But so it's an app called Dwell, and if you go in there, they have certain playlists, and they have plans to read through the Bible in a year, all different kinds of stuff. But like, they'll have different playlists for different subjects, and they have one called I'm Feeling Depressed. And this just goes over, it says, are you feeling depressed or downhearted? These curated passages will help remind you that God is the ultimate refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Come to God's Word to find a hope that only He can provide. And that's the truth. Like, anything else is not going to sustain us or relieve us or even just help us to endure that storm like Christ is going to. So this, you just press play, and even if you're, doing something, you can press play and have all these different verses read to you, and they have different voices you can choose from, which are just different people reading different translations of the Bible. And then you can also choose to have like guitar or hymns or something, any kind of music kind of going on in the background. So that is an awesome resource if you struggle with depression or anything else. I mean, there's some for anxiety, there's some for just all different things. If you want to focus on joy and choosing joy that day, there's just a plethora of things. So I highly recommend that. Okay, so back to the day. I'm going to add my coffee sticker because today I'm going to need all the coffee. I've been trying, I started kind of yesterday, waking up to exercise. That always helps, and limiting my sugar intake and drinking more water. That all helps with the physical parts, of dealing with depression, especially if it's related to like hormonal things or things like that. Oh, this sticker is hard to open. Oh, there we go. Okay, I just got these yesterday from a shop on Etsy, called Paper Game Co. So where do I want to put this? I'm going to put it right there. And then by my lessons, I don't want this to get in the way because I have a Canon Ivy and I try to take a picture a day, and I'll do a separate video on like a review and demo of my Canon Ivy, but I try to leave space here to put a picture of like what we were doing for homeschool or whatever that day. So I don't want to block it with this, but we are doing a North American bird study. So I wanted to kind of sneak this in there somehow, and I feel like I could still get a picture in there. So I'll probably put this right there. Oops. And we're doing the ruby-throated hummingbird these next couple of days. And I know that's not one, but it's the closest I could find in my stickers. Okay. And then what I like to do, I'm gonna get my TWSBI Echo out. I'm just loving fountain pens right now. They're my favorite. And I use a broad nib because I write big and fat. But I go onto my phone and I check the weather because where I live, I can't pre-put in the weather. It changes like every hour. You can't count on it till you're on that actual day. So today is cloudy with the sun peeking out at some points of the day, which it is right now, and it's awesome to get some of that vitamin D. But the high today is 34 and the low is 16. So I just put it up here in the corner. And normally I put the moon phase right up here, but on Wednesday I always have to like put it down here or somewhere over here because I just can't make myself write small enough to squeeze it in there. There it is, almanac.com. There's the website. And it's the Old Farmer's Almanac. And then you'll go to astronomy, tools and charts, moon phase calendar, and that's where you can put in your specific location. Okay, today we're keeping it simple and we are doing cereal for breakfast. And then I wanted to put this here for me as a reminder that as our day goes on, I don't want my focus to be on my circumstances or how I'm feeling at the moment, or if I'm frustrated, whatever it is, I don't want it to be on that. I want my focus to be on wanted to add this sticker just to remind myself to take it one day at a time, to focus on this day and how I can worship and serve the Lord, and how I can just serve my family and love on them today. Color that in. Okay, so that's where we're at. And I will fill in little journaly things as we go. And I'll also, as we get closer to doing the lessons, I fill out those kind of as the day, like the day of and as we go. I'm more tracking. I have an idea of the specific things or topics we're going to get to, but sometimes we have to spend more time in some things than others. So I don't have a thing with my homeschool where I plan like each lesson that we're going to do for the next like year or whatever. I have my overall how that day is gonna go, and then I track it as we go. So I'm going to turn the camera off here, and then in a little while, if I stop to come journal, I'm just gonna do whatever I would normally do and just hit record on the camera as I do it. That's the only difference here. So for now, I'm going to turn it off, and I'll join you guys again when I have something else to add to it today. All right, guys, I am back, and I come bearing coffee, which was much needed. I already knew. Okay, so now we've kind of got started on our lesson time, and the first thing we usually do is math. So I'm just going to write down what the kids are doing for math. I usually just for my brain kind of go oldest to youngest. Just realized that I meant to start writing up here and leave the space for a picture. So, but whatever, it's not that big of a deal. I kind of have this whole space and this saved for homeschooling stuff. So somewhere in there I'm going to be able to fit it. So I'm not too crazy worried about that. But I like to remember next time. And then my youngest is 5, but we don't even consider doing any kind of formal academics until 6. And then even at that point, we take things really slow and gentle because we want them to be developmentally ready, and we also want them to enjoy education and learning. So that's our philosophy. And so then I'll continue on kind of as I go. I'm gonna journal a bit here. I think that's all I'm going to do for now. And then once we move on to, I just have my oldest daughter's just finishing up her last page on her math, and then we're going to move on to our North American bird study. We are on lesson 2. I do it a little different. I divide the lessons and spread it to 2 days instead of just 1. So we're at the beginning part of that, going over the ruby-throated hummingbird. Okay, just so you know, side note, in case you don't realize already, I'm like a terrible speller, so I'm just gonna spell it. If it's spelled wrong, oh well. While my 2 oldest are doing their independent reading, I'm gonna work with my 8-year-old. It's a reading program. She can read pretty decently, but just to go over maybe any digraph blends or certain things that might have fallen through the cracks, we're doing it, and she enjoys doing it, so. All right, and then that is our entire day of lessons. So that worked out good because now I still have this spot right here to put my picture that I print from my Canon Ivy. So that'll go right there. But yeah, so now we're going to complete our North American bird study, and I'll jump back to you guys once we're done with that and we're possibly doing lunch or something like that. All right, guys, I am back and we finished our lesson time for homeschool, and now we're in this area. We already had lunch and we're heading into our work time. So I'm going to take some time to kind of fill out this area. I have my Canon Ivy, and so I'm going to print out a picture from our homeschooling that I'm going to put right here. So first I'm going to get it set up on my phone. You use the Canon mini print app, and then you just go in there. I was out with the cows, so I took some pictures of them. Let's see, where's it? So I'm going to use this picture. It's just them. They're watching a video of the ruby-throated hummingbird, but that's the picture I got for today. I'm probably just going to leave it like this. Sometimes I like to put frames on them and things like that, but there wasn't really a bird frame or anything that I wanted to use, so I'll leave it like that. And so I'll press this little print button, and then now I'm going to turn on my Canon Ivy and then hook it up. So you push it in until it goes on. I'm going to go in here, choose my device. And there you go, it's all printed out. There's the picture. Perfect. Okay, done with that. Get that out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to write in, I'm going to journal in a little bit right here, and then I'll write in what we have for lunch. Okay, so now we're on to our work. I'm just going to write down what we're all going to do. Alright, and that's it for now. I might journal and add a little bit here later, but I will come back to you guys when I get to that point, and when I get to the point here where I'm going to journal or fill in some more. Alright, so we have a few more things to add in here. I'm going to journal a bit. That's pretty much going to be the gist of it, and then I'll just have one more late night thing to put here. So here we go. All right, and there you have it. There is a full day of my planning and my journaling, starting in the morning with just the headers, the washi, and then the basic framework of the day with my breakfast and lessons and lunch and work and dinner, and then leaving for youth group. Everything else we filled in together, and this is how my planning days go. This is what it looks like in real life for me. And sometimes I'm not always thrilled with how it looks, and sometimes I'm more happy with how it all comes together. I really have enjoyed adding in the Canon Ivy pictures and having that as part of my journaling and daily life. And so, yeah, that's the gist of my 4-page spread for the day, and hopefully I'll keep this going. As I probably can only do it as a monthly thing, to be honest, because to hold myself back and and wait to write till I have like the camera set up, and then trying to get it at a point in the day when the kids are being quiet and kind of occupied is a little bit of a challenge, but I enjoy doing it just if it helps to encourage anyone or give anybody ideas. But yeah, that's how it looks, and also that's how I work through journaling, and at the same time I'm praying and getting into my prayer journal, and this is just what real life looks like, even when we have mornings or days or weeks where we're struggling. Just remember to keep your eyes fixed on the Lord. And like I put at the front of my plan book, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And that's Proverbs 16:9, and that's so true. We can have our idea of how things should go, and sometimes it seems like a wrench is thrown into things. And we're like, this is not what I planned. Like, things are not going how I planned. But sometimes that's the Holy Spirit, and He has different priorities for you that day. He wants to sanctify you and work certain things out. So remember, cling to Jesus, turn to Him, seek the truth about who He is. And if you have any questions, I'll leave my email in the description box below, and I would love to hear from you. And if you're struggling with depression, or if you're just kind of struggling in your walk, or you feel stagnant and you like have any questions, please email me and I will reach out to you and help you in any way that I can. All right, well, thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you next time on the farm.